everybody keeps talking about Sam Darnold, and he's here to possibly push Trey Lance and replace Trey Lance and all these other things. Is it possible that maybe Brock Purdy just might not be ready to start the season and they're not confident in it? Is that a possibility at all? Because I feel like it's okay to come in. Doesn't matter who it is. Any quarterback that is on this team that's not named Trey Lance, all of a sudden like deserves this chance to compete with Trey Lance and take his job and might take his job. But nobody's talking about the fact that Brock Purdy just had a serious injury, had surgery 3 weeks later than he was supposed to. And his timeline to return is right when the regular season starts, but he's going to be perfectly fine. It's all about backup.
And everything's going to go according to
week one.
Everything's going to go according to schedule. He'll have no setbacks. He'll have the most optimistic recovery of all time.
Yeah. Nothing's going to happen. So I think this whole, and the topic is, does Sam Darnold deserve a shot to prove himself? Sam Darnold has started 55 games in this league. And there's this talk going around on social media today. Well, I mean, Sam Darnold never had CMC and Debo and Ayuk and Kittle and the coaching staff. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So it's okay to make that excuse for 55 game in Sam Darnold, but it's not okay to make that excuse for 4 game in Trey Lance. Like where is the falling out point? Where is the breaking point where we stop saying that guys like Mitchell Trubisky and whoever, Chase Daniel, can come in and push Trey Lance for the starting job? It's like, is anybody but Trey Lance? Like, that's the feeling that I get from a lot of these people. And I think the hate is gone way, way too far the other way. I don't understand the thought process here. Sam Darnold played with Christian McCaffrey. He played with Moore, and he had 9 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Like this, he's cool. He's all right. He has an athletic profile like Trey Lance, but we know who Sam Darnold is a lot more than we know who Trey Lance is. So no, Sam Darnold doesn't deserve a shot to prove himself. And Sam Darnold is not going to beat out Trey Lance. Like, that's just not going to happen.
I don't know, man. Like, that's a lot of confidence there. But all I'm saying with Trey Lance is like, look, I like Trey Lance, but the Niners botched it. Like, we're in year 3 and he has 4 starts. That was not the plan. And to say that he's definitely going to be anything in offseason, week 1, you can't say that. So, yeah, we have a better idea of what Sam Darnold is, and it's not great. And that's why he didn't get any money. But we don't know what Trey's going to be. Like, is there a possibility that Trey is worse than Sam Darnold? Yes.
Yes.
There is that possibility. Yes. And that's why Sam Darnold's here. And that's why Sam Darnold's here. But is there a possibility that Trey's way freaking better and he'll prove it this year? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not like it'd be like, hey, we got Sam Darnold. Trey, kick rocks. We're trading you for a 5th round pick. Don't need you anymore. Like, of course, that's not the case. And of course, everyone in the Niners would love Trey Lance to be the guy because he has upside that none of these other guys have. If Sam Darnold Sam Darnold's at the point in his career where he's like, man, or the Niners are like, man, just play like Brock. All right. Stop trying to prove that you were a 1st round pick. Just go out there and be a freaking game manager and don't do too much and play like Brock. Is that too much to ask? It might be too much to ask for Sam Darnold because he's been a disaster at points in his career. Now, last year, for whatever reason, down the stretch, he had his best stretch of his career. It was with Steve Wilkes. Who knows? I'm a little intrigued. Because although he doesn't have Trey Lance's upside, he was a 3rd pick in the draft too. He's 25 years old. I got nothing against him. And he's not like one of these guys like Carson Wentz or Josh Rosen or Zach Wilson who is disliked. Seems like people think he's cool. He's fine. He's been on bad teams. I don't think he deserves like a straight up competition with Trey Lance where he splits reps. But he's got a cool story too. He's been through a lot. He's been through a whole lot of adversity. And frankly, the thing with Trey is he's been through none. This is his first taste of adversity since he got overlooked coming out of high school. And Sam Darnold's just got nothing but adversity for 5 years. So it's interesting. If Trey Lance doesn't work out, he could be Sam Darnold in 3 years. Or this could be the moment where Trey Lance differentiates himself and just takes off. I think it's very intriguing. I think Sam Darnold's an interesting person to put in the same room as Trey to push him. Because theoretically, Trey should blow him out of the freaking water.
I disagree that Trey Lance hasn't faced any adversity. He wasn't supposed to be the starter the year he started in college. They brought in a transfer to start after Easton Stick, and he beat that transfer out and then took the starting job. So I think that he has faced some adversity. Now at the NFL level, other than the injury, no, I mean, he hasn't. But he also really, I mean, we're still so early in this kid's career. I don't have anything against Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold, if the question is, can Sam Darnold be better in this system with these players than he's ever proven to be? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I would expect that. And would I feel comfortable with Sam Darnold starting a couple games, especially over a guy like Josh Johnson? 1000%. Yes, there's no doubt about it. But this thought that, oh, they paid him $3.5 million, which is a lot for a third string quarterback. Yes, it is. But he could have gotten backup money somewhere else. 15 other teams would have taken Sam Darnold as a backup. So if you want him to possibly be your third string quarterback, temporary second string quarterback, then you've got to pay him that kind of money because he could have gotten that money to be a backup somewhere else. He didn't get paid more than Trey Lance. Again, has Trey Lance, and I'm not saying that Trey Lance is going to be amazing. I don't know. And that's the issue at hand here. Nobody knows. He could be amazing. He may not be amazing, but I have a pretty good feeling who Sam Darnold is and who he is not. Can he elevate his game here? Yes, but he is not the franchise quarterback. So Trey Lance, barring injury or Purdy coming back and being Superman, is going to get his chance here. It's going to happen. It just is. We're not trading Trey Lance in favor of Sam Darnold before the season starts. It's just not going to happen.
Let's be realistic here, though. The Niners have a very unique and distinct pattern.
They do.
And the pattern is their quarterbacks get hurt. So we're talking about who's going to start or who's going to be on the depth chart. Ultimately, they're all going to play. That's what history suggests. And I like that they have Sam Darnold because if he could win 4 out of 6 games with Carolina, I feel like the Niners are in good hands if and when he has to play. I'm not saying he should play over Trey Lance, but I am saying that he's probably going to have to play at some point at no fault of Trey or Brock. To your point, we don't know when Brock's coming back. He might not come back anytime soon. So, or he could come back and get hurt again. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo did. That's what happened to him every single time. So I'd much rather bring in Sam Darnold at 1 year, $4.5 million than re-sign Jimmy Garoppolo at $67 million. I think there's some upside here. He's got a little mobility. He actually throws a decent deep ball, at least compared to Jimmy. It's a nice little, third option on a team that needs four.
Hell
needs
yeah.
4. Yeah.
And you're paying these 3 quarterbacks less than Jimmy's making this year by himself. So this is a win. Getting Sam Darnold is absolutely.
It's definitely a win. It's a nice move.
For sure.
I like it better than signing Baker Mayfield. I like it. I mean, I'm not saying he's a franchise quarterback at all, but of the options, man, I mean, he's way younger than Mariota. I get it. I totally get it. I think it's a nice move.
Yeah. And also, this is another thing that I don't think a lot of people have picked up on. So Sam Darnold was a guy that the 49ers did like when he was coming out of college.
Yeah.
Do you think it's fair to say that Sam Darnold fits Trey Lance's athletic profile a lot more than Brock Purdy's?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
6'3", little bit mobile, big arm.
I think Trey's way more mobile than him.
No.
I think Trey's way more gifted than him.
But I'm saying Sam Darnold, is he closer to Purdy or is he closer to Trey Lance?
I think he's closer to Purdy, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Because to me, like Trey Lance is a dual threat, like they say. Like they were running him 11 times a game, like Jalen Hurts. You're not going to do that with Sam Darnold. You run him once on the zone read at the goal line to get, maybe. But essentially, he's the kind of guy who's going to like scramble around behind the line of scrimmage like Purdy, and really, he really shouldn't be doing that. He should just be getting the ball and throwing it as quickly as possible because he's a disaster when he tries to make plays. Trey, I think, actually can make plays. But I see what you mean. But to me, he's like a bigger Brock.
Yeah,
I like Trey.
He's got a much bigger
distinct
arm,
difference
than Brock. Much bigger arm than Brock.
He does.
I think when I look at Sam Darnold, I'm not saying he's as athletically gifted as Trey Lance.
Yeah,
but I think athletically,
you could call Trey. You could call Trey a dual threat. You can't call Darnold a dual threat
for sure. For sure.
No,
6'3", big arm, big body. I guess 230
mobile.
pounds. Like he's mobile-ish.
Fair. I see what you mean.
I look at that and say, okay, well, they like Sam Darnold. obviously they drafted Trey Lance. I think that's the kind of athletic profile that they prefer here. So if Trey Lance comes out and does the things they hope he can do, I mean, I don't think they're ever going to look back unless there's an injury. That's just the way that
What's
I
going to
see
be
this
interesting
situation.
is now that like Brock's like the guy, I guess, and like you're going with that direction of the offense. Do they scrap the zone read, stop trying to like install that offense and allow Trey Lance to sort of compete and prove himself on the same playing field as the other quarterbacks? Like that might be an interesting wrinkle if that happens, because that might not be a bad thing for Trey.
I
It's
think it
not
would be
like
a
the
good
zone
thing.
read seemed like I don't think he was that good at the zone read, you know? Just saying.
Not as a runner anyways. He's a much
No.
better scrambler.
Yeah, exactly.